Hello and welcome back to Cookie and the Haydens, and I'm Car Boot Chris.
Bagging Bell.
And we are back with a special episode of Reseller Ramblings. We will introduce our special guests in just a minute. We'll just give chance for people to come into the show. So who have we got in?
We have tea cakes in. I don't recognise tea cakes. Have we had tea cakes before?
Yeah, I know tea cakes.
Okay, hi tea cakes. We have Andrew in the house.
Hello, Andrew.
We have Catherine Hill, Eric Reed, and Bexify at the moment. So hi guys.
Hi Bex. So today's show, we will introduce the guys in just a second. But it's all about the UK versus the USA, so to speak. We're not really against the USA, but just a bit of fun. And we are going to be doing 20 questions. So 10 questions from us and 10 questions from the guys.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take any questions from the chat that you want to ask us or Jason or Staci.
In bold, though, so we can try and pick them out, please, if that's...
Yeah, that's a good idea. If you write question in capital letters, and then I'll ping it onto the screen if I can remember. Yeah, we will be able to see your question then. And we will also be sharing some pickups. We went to a car boot yesterday. We picked up a few bits, and our American counterparts also have some stuff to show.
Yeah.
Anyone else in before we kick off?
Marianne from Southern California.
Wow.
Good morning. We have Lad Media.
Yeah.
Hi. M&M Antiques and Collectibles.
Cool.
And Jason, apparently. Hi.
Jason said hello. We've not even put him on screen yet, or Staci.
We've got our first question.
We don't have a question yet. We're not even started.
Andrew would like to know if Jason can be his listing partner.
Yeah.
We've got Nadeem Sherstone in, who says, hello, everyone in the UK and the US.
Brilliant. Hello from Seattle.
Eric Reed, yeah, from Seattle, Washington.
I'm guessing Jason and Staci probably know some of these names, maybe.
Well, shall we
bring them on?
Shall we bring them on?
Okie doke. So... Are we ready for the big intro?
Ooh, what's this?
So I'm going to introduce America's #1 thrifter. Yeah, believe it or not. TV celebrity, star of his own show, treasure hunter and teacher, plus...
This is big shoes to fill.
Now, hang on a second. Behind every great man is a great woman.
There certainly is.
So we've also got Staci, Jason's wife, who is really heavily involved, of course, in everything that goes on with thrifty business.
She runs it.
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably. So let's bring them on. Hi, guys.
Hi.
USA, USA.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm so glad Chris was going to make me wear a sparkly USA cap. Right,
I really worn that. We had a sequin USA cap, which is really good. Oh, nice effort.
I did wonder though, those bows pretty much look French.
That's French.
Yeah.
But we did wear appropriate T-shirts today, so I got the combo action.
That is very good.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that Scullers.
Is that little Union Jacks?
Union Jacks.
Oh, highly
Nice.
Impressed.
Yeah.
And it's designed by Claire Jane, who's from the UK, even though now she lives in Vegas. And I saw Joe Elliott from Def Leppard wearing this in concert, and I had to have it.
So, very nice.
So, guys, thanks very much for coming on.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Very well. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yeah.
And maybe you should start just telling everyone what is involved in your thrifting world, because you've got this whole different level going on. You've got your hands in loads of different pies. So do you want to just tell everyone what you do?
Yeah. So when I was 6 and then I was 7, I'll start a little more recently. In 2013, I had been doing YouTube videos and some Facebook groups about thrifting, and a production company came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like to make a thrifting TV show about you." And at the time, my buddy Brian. And so we did that for a couple of seasons, and then Brian and I parted ways, and I started my own YouTube show called Thrifty Business, and my Facebook group, the Thrifting Board. And then since then, another TV show has come calling saying, "Hey, we want to have a professional thrifter on Pawn Stars." And I said, so when they called me, I said, I had my own show on a different network. And they're like, "Yeah, we know." Oh, okay. So I've been on both those shows, and I travel the country teaching classes, and I do webinars online. And, I'm of the mindset that there's enough for everybody. And I don't mind teaching everyone what I know, because I could never buy everything that's needed to be bought. I could never sell everything that's needed to be sold. And I can never satisfy every customer that needs something. So that's always been my mentality. And just recently, my wife, who hated thrifting, actually quite likes it now.
I didn't hate it. I just get bored very easily. So he can spend literally 12 hours a day doing it, and I can maybe spend an hour or so, and then I get glazed over and I'm done. So
you really are like our mirror sort of image from over here. If you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. Right. So if I ever want to see them, I just have to hang out. And then it is fun. You find a couple things that are worth some good money, and then it's kind of infectious. And then you want to find the next thing and the next thing. But
yeah,
look, everybody who's married, no matter what you do, so it doesn't have to be thrifting, but when you're married and your spouse has that look come over their face, whatever you're doing, it's time to go. And hers got so prominent that I could just feel it. Like, we wouldn't even be in the same aisle, and I'd be like, "Oh, there's a disturbance in the force. It's time to leave now."
Yeah, it does. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of enjoying myself, and then suddenly I'm done. I don't know. I'm done.
Yeah.
But it's good that he does it. He understands that. So it's a compromise now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Staci, so do you have a job of your own, full-time job?
Yeah, I do the normal finance. I'm in the world of finance, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. The boring part. But I help invest our money that he makes doing the thrifting. So it all works out.
Thank God, because I'm not good at that and insurance and all the things she takes care of. I'm like, I'll be, if I happen to outlive her, which I highly doubt will happen, but if I happen to outlive her, I'll be one of those guys that's like, I don't know where our checking account is. I don't know where anything is.
You won't outlive me.
Yeah, I know. A bus might hit you. Who knows?
In that case, then maybe your Staci's sort of counterpart, because that's your job role as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really don't know what my job role is.
No, nor do I. I do. I pay her to do some listing, and
unofficially, as
wait a minute, you get paid?
Unofficially, I pay her to do some listing just as an incentive to try and help me out.
And I still do no listing.
She did none last month. None.
Zero?
Because you're not paying her enough then, or something.
I couldn't muster up the oomph to do it. I just don't know what it was. I just didn't have it last month.
Look, the thrifting part's the fun part. The listing isn't, but I think even more fun is when the money comes in. So you've got to get through the middle unfun part. So in this case, the sandwich is more exciting on the bread instead of the inside.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoy the holidays it pays for.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my role,
right?
Yeah.
I get to enjoy the holidays.
Show up on holiday. Hey,
he's not going to go by himself. Somebody's got to go with him.
There is in one of the groups I'm on, one of the UK groups, there is a girl in there who absolutely loves listing, and she is like the only person.
She crazy.
She might actually be in the chat somewhere and not said hello.
Available for hire?
She's seriously crazy.
She absolutely loves listing. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
But we did say last time when she was saying it, she has only been doing it 2 months, so I don't think it wore off yet.
Oh,
So it's the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon.
20 years here. So
yeah.
Well, she only has 800 listings or something, and she's only been doing it 2 months, which is
that's great.
Yeah.
And her turnover is
She's done
really
really
good.
well.
Yeah. So it does show if you list, you sell. But...
Exactly. Yeah. It's whether you can be bothered. Because I get really lazy. Okay, so as everyone can see, we're kind of placed in this tiki bar. So give us a clue, guys. Why are we in a tiki bar?
Well, I heard that's the new thing you're collecting.
You know what? We went to a car boot sale yesterday. And you guys have been to a car boot sale, haven't you, before in the UK?
Yeah.
And we were desperate to find someone with a tiki so we could bring it on, and there was just none. I don't think I've ever seen one at all. Never seen one. It'd be a load of rubbish.
We're going to grab an example because even though you're showing some, we'll show one live and in person. Yeah, we were at a car boot sale where I took video and I got yelled at. I don't think I ever showed you this video, but you know, it was like £2 to get in, or it was free like at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. And the amount of people who wouldn't pay the £2, I was like, so I stood when they opened the gates for free, and I just filmed and I did, I quickened the pace of it, everyone coming by, and they yelled at me. The people running the car boot yelled at me, and
no filming.
And I'm just like,
has nobody told you that us British are not friendly at all?
I guess not. So 19 years ago, September of 2000, my wife and I grew up in Cleveland, where the weather is crappy about 6 months a year. Probably not unlike
6 months.
9.5 months a year.
October to July.
So not dissimilar to Manchester then.
Yeah. So, and it's gray. So I'm assuming you understand that. But her company at the time said, "Hey, we'd like you to move to Southern California and go work at this branch, and we'll pay you to move." And I'm like, "Ooh, someone's gonna pay us to move to Southern California before winter? Yeah, let's get out of here." So we moved to Southern California, and we were living near the ocean. We were over a lagoon, and it was just what you would picture when you think of moving to Southern California. It's exactly what you would picture. And about 6 months into living there, I said to her, she came home from work one day, I go, "Hey, I want to get rid of all this." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Everything we bought from Cleveland, it still looks like Cleveland. I want it to look like we live near the beach." And she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to make it like tiki, beachy, Hawaiian-y, and piratey." And she said, "Oh, okay." So the tiki bar started in 1933. They ended with a lot of other things. Disco killed tiki. And every tiki bar turned into what's called a fern bar. So tiki was dead for about 20 years, and then it started to come back, and we were there at the beginning. And so these artists had just started doing art, and people started making mugs. So we just got into it then, and so we've been into it for 19 years, and we collect a lot of these guys.
So how much is that worth?
Oh, this one was new about a year ago. I think it was $80 new, and now it's worth about 300, give or take.
Wow.
Because they're usually made in limited quantities.
Yeah.
And this one was actually an homage to a vintage painting that had this tiki in the painting. And so people want it even more because if they find the painting at a car boot or a thrift store, they want to set the mug right next to it.
Yeah.
Yes? You had this look of like you're going to say something.
I didn't realize it was worth that much. I would have picked out one that wasn't quite as...
Do you know what painting it came from?
Yeah, I can picture. I don't know what it's called.
It's hanging in our house. It has been for 15 years.
I know we have it. I don't know what it's called.
August Holland's Pearl of Wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
So is because you've got a big tiki collection. I've seen a picture of it. So is your collection insured? Do you have it insured?
That'd be a question for her.
Yes.
Yeah. Just in case anything happened to it.
Exactly.
Because I was worried.
Like that last month.
Exactly, yeah. I was worried last time for you because I sent you a message and I said, what happens if this earthquake has some tremors? Because it weren't that far away from you, was it?
No.
It was in Southern California, but
yeah,
it was only a few hundred miles from us. And we weren't home. We were actually in Cleveland on vacation, but apparently it gave us quite a good shake, but nothing fell, nothing broke.
Were you panicking? Were you thinking, oh my God, what about all me?
Well, yeah, we were afraid to what we might come home to, but
yeah,
everything checked out.
Oh,
Yeah, we told the dog sitter, because she wasn't there at the time. I said, when you get to the house, make sure Atocha's okay, and then check our mugs. So I want to, if you don't mind, I want to share a picture for those that we've never seen before. Hi in the UK and everybody around the world. We'll show you a quick picture so you can fully comprehend how insane we are. Let me open this picture. There we go. So this picture I'm about to share is our dining room. Application window. So if you wouldn't mind adding that, Chris.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Add to screen.
So that is our dining room, and there is a dining room table and 4 chairs in there too.
That is a lot of tiki mugs.
That's just one room.
Yeah, and our whole house is like that.
Oh my gosh.
But this is where the majority of the mugs are.
This is your retirement fund.
Yeah, because right, and the way it works is, I'll say we, but it's really I buy so many mugs.
Yeah.
The dining room table is full and need to be put somewhere, and as you can see, there's no room. So that means a bunch have to be sold or traded because there's just no room. So time to move them up.
You also get to have fun trekking around
that's
to all the tiki bars.
Oh yeah, one of the things I teach is if you go to a bar that has a mug, what happens is you buy the cocktail and you get the mug. So usually it's around 20 to 30 bucks usually. And those mugs typically can't be bought anywhere but the bar. So you come home and then you sell the mug for like 40 bucks. So not only was your drink free, you put a couple dollars in your pocket. So you get paid to have cocktails.
When we went to Frankie's Tiki Bar with you.
You refused to pay.
I did.
Yeah. You wouldn't pay for the price of to have it in a special mug.
Oh, you see, I wish I'd have got one now.
You have to come back.
Yeah, say if we get together in a couple months, I will take you to places where I'm gonna make you buy some mugs.
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because there is a huge tiki scene in the UK, and so if you bring some back and have local shipping, you'll probably get the sale.
Cool. But no cocktails in them, not after last time. I spent a very, very, very long night with a poorly Chris after that.
Yeah, Nadine's been at our house a few times, and yeah, most of our friends walk through the house like this because it's just a whole house of breakables.
Yeah, I watched Staci's birthday video. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
And yeah, I could see a lot of your stuff in the background. It was like an Aladdin's cave of stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, the Tad doctor said I'm twitching at all the dusting. Yeah, the dusting, like, the coffee table and that stuff gets dusted on a normal basis, but the shelves, it takes a full week when you start. So it really happens anytime we have a major party, which is usually about 4 times a year. So that's when we'll start dusting. That's when I redesign the shelves. That's when I put the new ones up, and it's just it's a full 7 days of dusting.
And living in the desert, it's always kind of dusty here anyway, so there's a lot of dust.
How hot is it there at the moment?
Today, yesterday it was very comfortable.
Yeah, but this week's gonna suck.
I think it was 103 yesterday.
So 107, 103 today, 107, 109 on Wednesday, 108 on Thursday. Ugh.
Yeah, very comfortable.
I think this is it. Hopefully this week is like the last real hot, and then it'll get back to comfortable.
Yeah,
Comfortable's around 100.
Well, we went in September last year, didn't we?
It was unbearable,
and it was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was really hot because I couldn't remember exactly when you were here. I knew we were filming, but I would just remember just walking in the door. I was like, I'm sweating just going in the door, carrying all this crap.
Yeah. Well, that's why we decided not to stay, because we were late and we'd missed the entrance. So it meant we had to queue outside. And I was like, there's not a cat in hell's chance I'm standing out here for the next 45 minutes to an hour.
No.
Chance.
Gutted.
And then we proceeded to walk back to the main strip using any patches of shade we could possibly find. Shall we crack on with our questions?
We'll crack on. Right. Okay. So the idea is there's a couple of things we're going to do during the next hour or so. We've got 10 questions each to ask each other. There is no limit on what the questions are. We're going to share some pickups between us and take some questions from the chat. So if anyone's got any questions, please put like Q or question in capital so we can see it. And we'll put it up on the screen. But in the meantime, we'll carry on. Do you want to ask us a question first?
All right, let's see here.
Have you got your list?
Do that one first.
No, we'll save that one for. Okay, here's my first question. When you were in the U.S., did you find any good fish and chips?
Fish and chips. Did we? We didn't have any fish and chips, did we?
No, because we can get fish and chips over here. So why would we get them in the US?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Very good point.
Because we're missing home. Like when we go places where it's all seafood, there's a moment when I want a burger. And I love seafood, but like 4 days into all seafood for 4 days, you're like, is there a McDonald's somewhere? I just want something normal, So I just wondered if you like, oh, I miss home. Let's go get some fish and chips.
No, well, to be honest, fish and chips probably isn't our choice of food.
No,
we probably go for like Chinese or Indian or something.
That was going to be my follow-up. Like, do you even eat fish and chips at home? Or is that just like such a thing that Americans think that you all eat fish and chips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will have it now and again, but not from a fish and chip shop. I'll have it if we go to like a restaurant or something, and I'll have fish and chips. But you don't eat it
Not
really
a lot.
at all.
No.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a chippy?
I don't.
What is it?
I'm guessing.
Never been to a chippy?
Do you know
what one
chip
is?
shop
I don't think so.
where they serve fish
Well,
and chips?
Like you're never more in the UK. You're never more than a few yards away from your nearest chippy. Which,
Oh yeah.
it's
Remember
a chip.
that the very first day we were there, we went to what was that place called? With all the little booths and stuff, and we had fish and chips there.
Yeah, in a little truck, and it was good.
Yeah, but what was that area called?
I don't know.
Eh.
It was like an indoor mall with these big steps going down, and it's right in London, and that's all I can recall. I bought a lot of music.
Yeah.
It's a whole area of outdoor shops and restaurants, and then some of the shopping is inside.
No, we're not that well versed.
Camden, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Lisa.
You probably know London better than we do.
Probably, yeah. So, to answer your question, no, we didn't look for any fish and chips because we're not mega hot on it. But yeah, we'd probably go Chinese or Indian.
The first thing we come looking for when we come to the US is we go to Denny's. Denny's.
Yeah. Oh no! Hang on a minute. The other one we love is Golden Coral.
Oh my God. Golden Corral.
Yeah.
That's one.
All you can eat buffet.
Yeah, we don't go to either one of those.
Is that too market for you?
Denny's is when you're on the road and you're like, okay, lunch should have been 3 hours ago, and the only stop has a Denny's. That's when you go to Denny's.
Or late at night.
Or when you're hammered
and
they're still open, like we were in.
We love Denny's. We love Denny's when it's like Halloween time because they have pumpkin pie in there.
Oh,
it's so nice.
We don't get pumpkin pie over here.
No, not really.
Well then, there you go.
I'll send you a pie.
we are just cheapskates. That's all. Right. We've got a question from Bexify. What's your best and worst buy of the month so far? Wow, I'll let you answer that, guys.
I don't know if I have a worst yet. I don't think you discover it's the worst until you sit down and actually start to work on it. But probably the best would be the Nirvana shirt I picked up for $30. That's worth between $500 and $600. So that's probably the best.
Where do you get that? At a garage?
No, a chain of stores called Buffalo Exchange. It's a secondhand clothing store that's curated. So like you would trade music into a music store, people bring their clothes in and they trade it in and get credit or cash for shopping in the store. And so I found the Nirvana shirt for $30. I had never seen it. I go, that's a weird Nirvana shirt because they stole the cover of Two Virgins by John and Yoko. and then superimpose someone's face on John and Yoko. And they used that back when they first started. And I looked it up and I'm like, oh, this sells between $500 and $600. I'll pay $30 for it.
Definitely.
But yeah, I don't think we bought anything bad yet that I got home and went,
Yeah, I don't think.
I'll let you know in a month, whoever just asked that.
Okay.
Bex, if I let you know.
Lisa has just come up with, and I bet it is. Was it Camden where you went? With
Yeah, that's what it was.
I was thinking Camden. I was thinking that because that is a really big eatery place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another question. I can't. My eyes are gone a bit funny. Will you read that?
What are the major ways thrifting differs in the UK than US? Is there less of an abundance?
Major differences.
Well, we both thrifted in on both sides of the pond, and obviously the stores in the UK are way smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you have the big chain stores like we do, like the Savers and
Goodwill.
yeah. So it's smaller.
Your Goodwills are just massive. We love going in them.
Yeah, you could literally get lost in one of them for days, just wandering around.
Well, Jason does a whole lesson in there. It takes hours, doesn't it? You know.
Oh yeah.
Go through each department.
Yep.
See, that's where I get bored because I go in, have a scout round, and I'm like, yeah, I can't see anything. Whereas Chris will literally like dive through and be in everything. But
yeah, so I like the stores in London because it was small, and I like the the flea markets and the car boots just because it's a limited. You can't wander around forever. I mean, you could, but you're like you can see it. It's there or it's not there, and you go to the next place. So I like
everything is so much bigger over on your side. I mean, maybe not everything, but everything is like your Rose Bowl flea market that I've seen a picture of. That just looks like you'd never get to the end of it in a day.
It's enormous.
So
yeah.
So the first time we went, we didn't comprehend how big it was because we were living there. And so we would do like you guys normally do at a car booth. Like you'd go to a booth, you'd stop, you'd kind of glance around, maybe dig through a box, look at this pile, that pile. So we'd been there for like 6 hours and we're like, oh my God, we haven't even like scratched the surface. So the next time we went so fast that we only stopped if something caught our eye. And going like full speed, we got through the whole thing in 7.5 hours. And so that's not stopping and looking at every booth. That's only like, oh, I see some music, I'll stop here. I see some tikis, I'll stop there. Staci sees some vintage clothes, she'll stop there. But you can never spend the time you should spend at every booth because you'll never get to it.
So it's like training your eyes to spot the things that you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
What else have we got? How many car boots are there on a weekend in the UK? Oh my gosh. Well, every community, every town, every city has its own set of car boots. So there'd be thousands at a weekend, or wherever you are. You're never that far from a car boot sale probably at a weekend.
Because we've got at least 5 or 6, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got about 6 near to us.
Main ones just nearby to where we are. But that's why we started going further afield now. So we make day trips out of it. So we'll pick an area to go to and then just go for a drive out with the dog and go see what charity shops or what car boots we've got and stuff. And you can just carry on forever, can't you?
Yeah. You don't have enough time because the problem here in the UK is that most of the car boots start at like 6 in the morning on a Sunday or a Saturday sometimes. So you have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there at opening. It's just stupid.
Yeah,
that's a big difference between there and here. And when I say here, I mean Vegas. We have one somewhat flea market swap meet that's okay, but that's it. So like when we lived in LA, there's all these different flea markets every weekend. We lived in Cleveland, a lot of community garage sales, but here. And it's not a really good one. So that's the one bummer of living here. I see you going to your car boots. I see my friends in LA hitting the Rose Bowl, hitting Long Beach. And I'm like, that's the one thing I miss.
And the only thing here is people have their garage sales at
their
houses. So
just one more question before we move on, otherwise we'll never get through this. So the Tat Doctor says, which one niche would you like to get to know more? Is there any niches that you guys sort of are not into? But
I would love to be better at shoes. The only shoes I pick up are ones that are very like specific, like Vans with Alice in Wonderland. That catches my eye. But when I see people write all these brands, and I'm like, that's where I turn into Annabelle. I'm just like glazed over. I'm out. I can't. I start to look at shoes, and the ones I think look good, they're all Jessica Simpson. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, I think for us, I would like to do more sort of CDs, because having seen not just from your sort of teachings in the past, but I see people like picking up CDs and making some good money on it. But because I only do it part-time, I just don't have the time to sit and scan. So I kind of miss them out, really, and I should get into that more.
Sorry, Cookie's already getting bored, and she's like standing there growling at me with a toy in her mouth.
Touch is just sleeping.
Yeah, ours is sound asleep.
I was going to say the other thing too is because we don't have kids, is the children's clothes, and we have some friends that know them and can make some good money, and we just don't even. We avoid the kids section.
Yeah.
There's usually kids in it.
Right, we'll leave the chat for a bit.
Go on, what's our first question?
Right, how did you two meet?
that was our first question too to you guys. She was drunk in my dad's bar. I was hitting on her friend. Her friend puked, and I went, okay, not hitting on the pukey girl anymore. Cute brunette
who can hold her liquor.
That was brilliant.
So that's my excuse.
That's the short version. I was working, and that was 29 years ago next week.
Wow. So
that's not bad. Good going.
9 years. Holy shit.
You've put up with him for 29 years.
I know, right?
I know.
So yes, we were to ask who pursued who.
I don't really know.
It kind of just fell into place, didn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, everyone's kind of aware of the fact that when I joined the police, Chris was kind of my supervisor. So he kind of, I was basically your work bitch, wasn't I?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And now I'm just his house bitch. So.
You didn't change very much.
So it was just kind of.
Yeah, you just get on with someone and you're friends, and then friends with benefits.
I couldn't even tell you when it changed from friends to more. It was just one of them things.
No,
it?
I know.
That's
cool.
It was meant to be.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, thank God you decided to go out with Jackie that night.
I know, right?
Thank God she couldn't hold her liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a sliding doors moment, isn't it? If that person hadn't have been sick, what would have happened?
Right.
Because I was working. It was my dad's bar, and my dad and Jackie, her friend, and Staci disappeared for a minute. I'm like, where are they? And I find them in the girls' bathroom. Jackie's puking her brains out, saying, "I'm dying," and my dad's holding her hair back, going, "You're not dying." And then Stacy's just leaning against the wall like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, who are you?" Jackie's puking.
Is Jackie still a friend?
No.
Not anymore.
If you can't hold your liquor, you can't hang out with us.
We went our separate ways.
And I can definitely say you two can hold your liquor. So
we are trained professionals. Do not try this at home.
Okay, so we'll ask you a question. Are there any states in the USA that you have not thrifted in?
About
all of them.
No, we haven't been to Alaska yet. Haven't been. She's thrifted in Idaho. I've never been, so that's funny. That's weird.
It is weird.
We have not been to Montana or the Dakotas. Haven't been to Nebraska.
Carolina.
Any classes in?
Most of those are so sparsely populated that it would take a lot of driving for people to take a class. But I want to do Montana for sure, because there's a tiki bar with live mermaids. And so I always set my classes around where tiki bars are. And since I haven't been there yet and I want to see live mermaids, I thought we'll have a class in Montana soon. But yeah, I mean,
probably about 10, maybe 10, like Virginia, the Carolinas, that little pocket over there.
So
Kentucky.
maybe about 10 we haven't thrifted in.
Yeah.
So do you have like a hit list of like where you're going to go next?
Yeah, I have an idea. We didn't do any classes this year. I've had some back issues, so I've been waiting to kind of fix that because I did a ton of classes the year before. And so a lot of new tiki bars have opened in the country. So we will start working on the class schedule for next year.
Apparently somebody says you haven't been to Alaska.
Oh, it's Eric.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to Alaska yet. Plus, Staci doesn't like the cold, even though global warming has made Alaska not that cold anymore.
Well, I was going to ask, in connection to that question, is which is the best state to thrifting
that you've found?
Well, I would say, when we go home to Cleveland, the amount of vintage stuff that we don't see here just blows our mind. So we enjoy going home to Cleveland for that. But we're also only 3.5 hours from LA. And so we're in LA every couple of months, buying CDs, thrifting.
Buy a lot of stuff.
Really good.
Boston's good.
Massachusetts, especially Boston, has been good to him.
Yeah,
again, there's a lot of vintage stuff there too.
We did buy a lot of stuff in LA because that's where we had to buy our extra.
We bought an extra suitcase.
Extra suitcase.
Raise your hand if you bought an extra suitcase. I was with Nadine in New York City, and I was leaving for the airport, and we stopped at a Goodwill, and someone had dropped off 82 Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, and Woodstock T-shirts, new with tags. And I'm like, I need to buy a suitcase. Like, where am I going to put 82 T-shirts? Because they were $4 each. And they had one suitcase missing a wheel, so it always fell over. And they still charged me $8. I'm like, come on, it falls over. But I didn't have a choice.
You need it.
Like, if I was going to take home those 82 T-shirts, I needed the broken wheel suitcase.
Well, to be fair, we did the same because we were looking around the Goodwill shops while we was at it to find a suitcase, but they was like old and tatty ones, but nothing that we could have used to bring stuff back. So going with our classiness of Denny's, I also walked through the middle of LA pulling an empty suitcase.
Yeah, we do that in Chicago sometimes too.
Oh, yeah.
Walk around with our suitcases.
So I was like, just pretend we're going to the airport.
Right.
Your turn.
All right.
Do that one.
Which one? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Besides The Walking Dead, what's your favorite TV show?
What's your favorite TV show?
Apart from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. What else do we love?
Oh, we watch all sorts of rubbish.
We really liked Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we totally binged that in a few weeks, didn't we?
See, this is where we differ because we do have some things that we watch together, but then we also have stuff we watch apart because I'm a big Supernatural sort of love. So I love Supernatural. I absolutely adore it, and I'm devastated that the final season is coming up. I don't know where my life's going to be after there. I have no idea what direction I'm going to go in.
We'll pray for you that something comes up.
You only hate it because Dean Winchester is my next love.
Stranger Things is good. I like that. Have you watched that?
We watched the first season, and we have to catch up on the rest.
Yeah, the first season was good, and then it does go off on a tangent, doesn't it? But it's still like that. Is there anything?
Yeah, I heard 2 was just and then I heard 3 is pretty good.
But no, we tend to have our separate ones rather than we like watching some of the like the documentary style ones, don't we? We tend to watch those together.
I'm just looking at what box sets I've got here to remind me.
It needs to be reminded by what's on the walls.
If you're talking about like retro series, I've got every episode of Quantum Leap. I love that.
Oh.
Do you ever watch that?
I've never watched Quantum Leap.
I remember I watched that when I was little.
Oh, you don't know what you missed.
When you were little, you're still little.
Younger. I qualified to say younger.
And he recently introduced me, which we binge watched, Life on Mars.
They might not know.
You probably don't know that one, but it's a British policing type one, which has been out for years and years and years, hasn't it? But I've just never kind of been interested. And every so often he'll go, "Why don't we watch this? Why don't we watch this?" So I gave in, and we literally binge watched it, and it was actually really good. So, but we do have slightly different tastes when it comes to TV series.
Yeah, definitely.
If it doesn't consist of vampires or like warlocks, I'm not interested anymore.
That's what we're missing from Thrift Hunters: vampires and warlocks.
Okay, so what are your favorite leisure activities?
Other than thrifting.
You always had a bit on when I asked a question.
Well, he can't know because he's just going to say he loves thrifting.
I was going to say hanging out at tiki bar.
Well, we go to movies, traveling,
And concerts are a big thing.
concerts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen all those concerts.
Yeah.
But we don't, like, even when we go on vacation, we don't just sit on the beach. We always find, we like to find things to do, and not necessarily the touristy stuff. Like, we like to find out where the locals hang out and go check out whatever it is. One of the last times we were in Hawaii, we had a car and we ended up at a garage sale way off the beaten path, and the person running it knew that we did not belong there.
She goes, "You guys are tourists." I go, "Yeah."
Why we were there? We're like, well, because we want to check out what's happening in the neighborhood.
and I don't remember his name. I couldn't figure it out if I did some Googling. But coming back from her garage sale, we saw a guy carving tikis in his garage. So we just stopped, and he ended up being like a world famous painter that was like crazy. Everyone knew him. We didn't know him, but he was carving for fun, and we bought 2 tikis from him.
Wow.
So had we not been off the beaten path, we wouldn't have seen that. But yeah, concerts, I would say, probably is our number one, since we also travel for them. So our next travel concert is Iron Maiden in LA.
Ooh.
And I do, like you said, you have different tastes in TV shows. I like to run, and he likes to not run. So slightly different leisure activity.
No, but we're very similar when it comes to holidays. We don't really understand people that just go and stay in a hotel and don't move. So we're probably like you, where we tend to end up off the beaten tracks a lot, but we have a really bad habit of ending up off the beaten track and then thinking, maybe this isn't very safe.
We haven't gotten ourselves in any kind of trouble yet.
No, we've ended up in places where we're like thinking that thought, but oh well, just keep on trucking.
I'm not being funny, but if you saw Jason like walking down the street, you would not pick a fight with him.
Yeah, you probably do have a better aura about your protection than like Crystal's. So,
but she's more the pit bull. So when something happens, I just sit off on the side. And like many years ago, we were in the mosh pit. We weren't in the mosh pit at a Marilyn Manson concert. We were outside the mosh pit. But a guy decided to start his own single person mosh pit right in front of Staci. And he stepped on her and she pushed him and said, "Hey, if you want to go mosh, go in the mosh pit." He did it a second time, and I was about to step in because he didn't see me stand there, and she slugged him, and he got afraid and left. I'm like, cool, I got to worry about her.
Hey, you have to protect yourself. Small but mighty.
Brilliant.
That is true.
Whose turn is it? Do you want to ask us something?
Oh, yeah. All right, let's do our, should we do the share screen or something else normal? I'm going to do this one.
Which one?
That one right there. Okay, so where's the weirdest place you've been recognized now that you're a YouTube personality?
Yeah, I have been recognized quite a few times now.
Excuse me, so have I.
And you have. Actually, I was in a charity shop or a thrift store, and I was about to pay for something, and a couple came up to me, and they may even be watching because they do watch quite a lot. And they just said, "Oh, you car boot Chris," and they're like, "Watch all your videos," and I'm there like trying to pay for this item in the thrift store. So it was a bit embarrassing, but it was good at the same time because obviously people recognize you. It's great, and it gives you a good feeling, doesn't it, that actually people are watching you.
Yeah.
And you probably get recognized literally because you guys are very distinctive, so you're gonna get spotted a lot, aren't you?
I get spotted a lot, but my voice gives me away. So I'll be like aisles away, and someone will be like, "Ooh, I hear Jason from Thrift Hunters. Are you Jason from Thrift Business?" But where it's the downfall for me is if I'm in line being quiet, waiting for an estate sale to open, and someone goes, "Hey, that's the guy on TV." Then everyone wants to know who I am, and then they all want to out thrift me because they want to show the TV guy how it's really done. And then I always end up out thrifting them, but I don't make a big deal about it. I try and be quiet, but when you're 6'5", 280 pounds. It's hard to hide. It's hard to be quiet and small. She can be quiet and small and disappear.
Yeah, I can blend.
I cannot.
Maybe you need to like find a disguise.
What's going to hide all this? The tattoo, so it kind of gives me away, everything.
Santa outfit to go with the beard, regardless of the fact it's the middle of summer.
Santa outfit. Right, go on, we'll ask you something. I've got a good one here. This is like a typically UK question. So, do you dunk or don't you dunk? Any ideas?
Donuts, basketballs
in your tea, right? Or cookies in your tea.
You're not far off. Yeah.
Oh.
Are you a dunker or you're not a dunker?
French fries in your milkshake?
No.
Oh no.
No, Stacy pretty much got it. So
Bone in your tea.
Yeah. So that's what we call a biscuit. So you have a biscuit.
Not them
is something
horrible
else.
things that you get at McDonald's with gravy on. Not one of them biscuits.
So you have to get your brew and you have to dunk it in your tea and then eat it.
Well, I'm not a big cookie eater, if we're called, biscuit cookie. But if I ever eat an Oreo or a chocolate chip cookie, I'll dip it in milk.
Yep.
And eat it. So yes, or graham crackers, just like soaked in milk. Yeah. So I guess I'm a dunker.
Yeah, I'll dunk cookies and milk, but that's about it.
Do you drink tea?
Iced tea.
Not milk tea.
No.
No.
I'm a country boy from the USA.
And sometimes, and it does get cold here in the winter. I drink hot tea just if I'm cold to try to warm up.
See, I don't drink. I'm a coffee drinker, so I can't stand tea. But I will say something actually. Chris did kind of give you the wrong idea then, because what he just dipped in his brew was a cookie.
It's a cookie. It's a cookie, but it
looks like a chocolate chip cookie to me, but what do I know?
Chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, but it's still a biscuit. It's still a biscuit. It's not. What are those biscuit things that you have?
Oh, they're horrible.
What are they?
You mean like biscuits and gravy kind of biscuits?
Yeah. What is it?
That's yummy. Horrible. What? Get out.
It's just like flour and.
Oh no.
I like them.
She
don't eat that.
It's nasty.
All right. So thanks, David, for joining the Thrifting Board.
Yeah, I'm always recommending people to join your group.
Thank you. Yeah, we're having our 4-year anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks, and we have about 56,000 members. It's free. It's the Thrifting Board. Come on over and join us, and we're happy to help you with anything.
And I can vouch for that because I've had loads of help in there. Whether it be I post a picture or something, and obviously you always try and get people to do their own research as far as they possibly can, and then if they need help after that, that's fine. Which is the best way to be it. Otherwise, you're going to get bombarded with stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, some people are lazy and want us to do their work, and some people just don't even think about it. Where have you looked? eBay. Okay, well, have you Googled it? Have you looked on Amazon? I never thought of that. So yeah, do your own work. But when you're stumped, like, I've had things in the thrift store where I'm like, I don't even know what to look up. This looks cool, but I don't even know what the heck it is. And I've been doing this, I've been doing this as a selling thing for 20 years. So if I'm stumped at what something is, to even start with what words, then I'll throw in the group, and then bam, within minutes, someone's like, well, that's this, and it was made in 1872, and then the company went out of business in 1937. Like, it's crazy the amount of knowledge. But when you have 56,000 thrifters and pickers and eBayers and car booters, everyone knows something.
You might as well dip into the font of knowledge that is surrounding you, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And can I just say, Edinburgh Picker has said American biscuits are just like UK scones. No, they are not. Not one little bit. I love a good scone with a bit of jam and cream. They're just salt and blah. Blah.
All right, so we have a question that needs a screen share, so I'm going to share a picture.
I'm worried. Oh no!
Okay, hang on.
So it's a two-part question now because something just dawned on me. A, do you always sleep on the job? And B, is this your favorite outfit? Because that's what you're wearing right now.
Did you plan that?
I saw the video of her sleeping on the job, so I took a quick screenshot.
And it just so happens she's wearing the same thing.
Same thing.
That is so embarrassing.
And I'm jealous of both things because I don't get to nap, and I love your shirt.
I had been up really, really early, and I wasn't on best form as it was, but I dedicated to the role. I had got up and I had helped out, and yeah, I was flagging. I was really struggling. So sleeping in the car was when it comes over me, my needing to sleep. It doesn't matter where I am. I just
gotta do it.
Yeah, I've just got to get my head down. But Chris being Chris, there's not normally a camera too far behind. I actually quite like this one because I do look pretty funny when he wakes me up.
Oh yeah, you are so like, what? Where am I? You are so,
sleep.
yeah, you were so like, oh.
Oh no! Thanks for that, Jason.
You're welcome.
To her defense, she does have a condition which means she gets tired really quickly. So I do sort of let her off a bit, and half the time I tell her just to go and rest and come back a bit fresher.
Yeah.
So my partner in Thrift Hunters, when we were buddies, he fell asleep like a baby in a car in 30 seconds. So when you do TV, everything you do, you have to do it 5 times because they're getting different angles. Someone walks in the way, a plane flies overhead. So we would do the driving shots where we would drive past, and I'd be driving and he'd be in the passenger seat. And then they would radio to us, okay, turn around, do it again. So we would be in a city somewhere, and I would turn around and come back. And within that 60 seconds of getting set up again, he'd fall asleep. When you wake up, we're making a TV show about us. How can you fall asleep while we're making TV about us?
Should have caught him sleeping. That would.
And so, like, when we would drive home, like,
real.
so we would film in Phoenix and drive home, which is about 5 hours. He'd fall asleep in a minute. So I listened to what I wanted to listen to. I would have phone call, like, sound asleep, never woke up. I'm just like, ugh.
Sometimes I just literally don't have any control over it. It is terrible. If I need to sleep, I need to sleep, and that is it. That particular day, I was just struggling. And there was no way I was lasting the whole day without just getting. And I probably only had my head down for half an hour or so, didn't I? But it's just enough to give me a little bit of a kickstart. Like I said, Chris uses it to his advantage, and there's just so many photographs of me asleep. It is unreal.
And hey, we both appreciate a good nap, so we're not.
Oh yeah.
And as for the shirt, this is my comfy shirt.
Yeah. As we're sitting here, I wrote her a note. I go, she's wearing the same outfit.
That's brilliant. I just cannot believe it. I can't. It's rubber.
I have washed it since then.
All right, so I think we'll give the questions a rest for a bit because we've got loads more stuff to do. So what I asked you guys to do was bring along your favorite candy bars, chocolate bars, whatever we call chocolate bars. So just so that we could do a little comparison, because we always like to buy American candy and stuff, and I don't know if the Americans sort of look on at the UK sweets and candy, and because it's always different, isn't it? Yeah, I like it.
Same stuff, different name.
Sometimes. But what have you brought along?
So I was debating because I don't eat a lot of candy and I like dark chocolate. So normally I'll just eat plain dark chocolate, but that's a little too boring. So I had a York peppermint patty in the cart, and then I saw this because I thought they only have this during the holidays. But it's a Reese's peanut butter cup with dark chocolate.
Oh,
dark chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
I can't eat them. I just can't eat them. I love peanut butter, like on toast or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't eat it when it's with chocolate. I just don't like it.
I can.
Strike one.
But I also love those peppermint pates as well.
Yeah.
And
that's what she had in her hand, and I'm like,
and
boring.
He's like, that's too boring. So I
amazingly, I wanted Bourneville, which is basically just dark chocolate, and Chris was like, "No, that's too boring."
That's what I was gonna do.
All right, so do you guys know this?
No, never heard of that one.
See, I knew that you wouldn't. They wouldn't.
It's been around forever, and
you're not gonna eat it right now,
well,
are you?
it's the rare opposite of dark chocolate because it's white.
Oh,
Can't read what it says on the. It's white chocolate covered.
Yeah, almond nougat covered with white caramel, peanut, and almond nougat covered with white fudge.
Oh, that sounds nice.
That does actually sound quite nice. Is it a bit like a Mars bar but white?
No.
No.
Not sure what's in the Mars bar.
It's way more chewy.
Oh.
He's jumping into
Looks
it.
good.
No, I don't think we haven't had one of those, have we? And we do tend to taste the.
We always bring loads.
Since I'm king size, I had to get the king size.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a Mars bar, but different wrapping.
Yeah.
Go on. What you got?
So, seeing as I wasn't allowed my boring dark chocolate Bourneville, and then so I chose a Caramac, but I believe they're quite big in America. The Caramacs.
Is that like caramello?
Caramel chocolate.
Okay,
it's like very thin, like caramel flavored chocolate.
Just show them what you've got. Why are we having a big story about it?
I'm just showing.
You have a picture. Do you have one, or you're just trying to describe it?
Come on.
I'm just trying to say because I'm now on to my third choice. A Boost.
Get it a bit closer.
I don't know Boost.
No. What's it? What's in that one?
These are brilliant when you're tired. It says,
yeah, get boosted.
Yeah, get boosted with milk chocolate caramel and a biscuit energy. It's basically got glucose in it.
Oh, so it's good for you.
Well, yeah.
Not if you count the calories. Yeah,
Take a bite of it.
I don't want to take a bite of it.
I'll take a bite for her.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if it had a better description, but yeah, it's basically chocolate, caramel, biscuit, and it's full of glucose as well.
So isn't a Twix like chocolate caramel?
Yeah, this is kind of.
But then this has a little extra boost.
A little boost.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's like the filling in the middle of it is more like a fondant. It's quite soft and smooth.
Oh, okay.
They are delicious. They are
good.
Right, here's mine. Have you ever had a Turkish Delight?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, not in a chocolate bar anyway.
Well, Turkish Delight, if you ever like, you can buy them anywhere in the UK. Like the original Turkish Delight is like a jelly which tastes of like rose and lemon.
Yeah.
But then these are covered in chocolate. So this is Turkish Delight with chocolate. I'm going to have some of this because I've been looking at it for about half an hour.
Well, we can see who the sweet tooth people are out of our lot.
So it's kind of a jelly inside.
Oh yeah, there's something called a Joyva bar here in the U.S. It's dark chocolate and just like a brick of like raspberry jelly. I like those two.
Probably similar.
It sounds similar. Yeah.
I haven't had one of these in a long time. They're so good.
I don't like anything that tastes like perfume or
no.
flowers.
That's weird.
There was a question that we had, which I've lost it. Oh, here we go. Tat Doctor. Any plans to film a TV show in the UK?
Is that a question for you or for?
No, it's got to be for you guys.
No plans, but there's always, since my first show ended, I've had probably 20 different discussions with different producers, directors, production companies, and current discussions happening for something too. So you never know.
Yeah,
you never know. I mean,
opposed to that.
And that's how entertainment works. Like you got to have 50 discussions for one thing to actually maybe happen. So we were lucky. The first one that came to us worked, and since then I've had so many great discussions and ideas that just didn't work for this reason or that. And but then Pawn Stars actually worked. So who knows? Maybe the third thing will work too. And you don't usually get a second bite at the apple unless you're a Kardashian or a Real Housewife. You don't usually end up from one network and one show to another network and another show. So I feel
either. So you're good.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. And I always have good stuff and good content. And that's why people have called me. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's literally just started to torrential rain.
Rain? What's that?
Tipping it down.
The dog has literally come into the room and she's just sat looking out the patio doors like, what the hell?
He's right under me.
Oh, I thought I heard him plop.
Yeah.
And that's the dog plopping and not what we were talking about earlier.
Shall we show some of what we've picked up? Just a handful of items. I've got about 4 or 5 items here. Do you want to show us what you've got?
So I decided to stick with what you guys like, pop culture stuff. So I haven't even looked this up, but there is. I'm like, well, for $3, it's a basket of Ewoks.
Oh,
that's amazing.
That is mint.
And the basket is part of it because the tag for Star Wars is right there. Whoops.
Right here.
Right
We'd have picked that up.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we'd have definitely picked that up.
So yeah, we snagged that over the weekend. And
any idea what it's worth?
I haven't even looked it up yet because I'm a Star Wars nerd. So worst comes to worst, it'll just go on my shelf. You know, like you guys put your cool stuff on your shelf.
Yeah.
So how much did you pay for that?
$3.
Somebody in the chat will look it up for us. Someone look it up. How much is that worth?
Exchange rate is, yeah.
And to go along with that, this I had a coupon, so this was $5. And the box is beat, but the pieces are still sealed in the bag. It's never been put together.
That's cool.
And that's going for like $40 to $50. I thought.
I can imagine that.
Exchange rate.
Yeah, we should do the exchange rate.
I don't know how to translate
a lot more,
pounds and quids and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, Staci, we were watching one of your videos, and she's like, "I can't keep up. I don't know what's going on. Quids, pounds. I don't know what's happening."
Same thing. It's like buck or dollar is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like when you say you spent a certain amount of quids, I don't know. I don't know what that means in my language.
Well, $1. I think is it about $1.20 is about a pound. Something like that.
Right.
So it's just over almost the same.
Cool.
Oh, you can do it. There she goes.
You got anything else?
Come here, Toach. You want to come up?
Toach, you want to be on?
What the heck are you doing? Wait, hold on.
What's your toes?
Oh, Lisa's put quid count for bob. The term bob for money in ages.
Oh yeah, that is another word for pound is a bob.
Is a bob. Yeah.
And then I found this when I was home in Cleveland. If you've not seen this movie, it's one of the greatest crappy movies of all time. Kiss meets The Phantom of the Park.
Is that a VHS?
Yeah. So the Phantom took over an amusement park, and each of the Kiss members had a special power, like, and I haven't seen it forever, but one of them can shoot lasers out of their eyes and stuff. And it's the worst special effects. And so it makes it one of the best all-time movies.
I'm sorry, but that's coming into the Sharknado sort of thing for me.
Oh, Sharknado is like Gone with the Wind compared to this. That's how awful this is.
So I assume is that going to be worth a bit?
It's worth about what I paid, but it's one of those things where I'm just going to put it up on the shelves. And I don't think I have another copy. So we have a few VCRs hanging around. Have you ever seen the movie?
I doubt it.
Yeah, so Staci will be enjoying it next weekend. When I say enjoying it, meaning forced to watch it.
So Catherine says your Ewoks basket has sold for £40. That's not bad.
I figured $3 was good, and plus I'm like, I'm just shocked that they're just kind of loose. I'm shocked it was still together, and some kid hadn't torn it apart yet.
No,
that's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah. What'd you find?
Okay. So I've got this Rick and Morty game. You ever watch it?
No. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never watched it.
Yeah. That cost me £2.50 at car boot sale. It's brand new. You probably can't hear that.
Yeah, I can hear
it. I don't even know how it plays, but anyway, it's worth about £25, and that's if I send it to Amazon or if I put it on eBay, probably a similar amount. So I'll probably go eBay because of the less fees on it.
Very cool.
also I picked up.
Bexify's in heaven. She's Cookie's biggest fan, and now she's got a pug as well. So she's just like.
So I've got 2 caps. I do like buying caps. For some reason, I've just got a thing about caps. I don't even wear them myself.
Yeah, it's took over from the Build-A-Bears.
So this one it's like a Formula One Damon Hill cap from the late 90s, I think, and it's still got its tag on it. And then this one is also a Formula One one. It's Jos Verstappen. I don't know if you're into motor racing.
No, it's one of the American pastimes we don't give a crap about.
Yeah, well, I don't really, but stuff like that with all the advertising.
Make money from it, then sure, I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, these cost me £3.50 each. That one has sold for 45 quid, £45, Staci.
Thank you.
But that one, I can't find a similar one. So I'm probably going to just list it because there's no tag on it. So I'll probably list it about 30, 35.
Cool. Easy to ship.
Yeah, caps are one of his new fetishes that he's got because
I've got hundreds of them.
Yeah, he has got hundreds, but it's one of them where you can buy them relatively cheap and they do have a really good markup and they're easy to store, they're easy to send out, just quick turnover, aren't they?
So this jacket is Ed Hardy. Do you know Ed Hardy?
Do people still care about Ed Hardy in Europe?
Yeah.
Because John Gosling single-handedly ruined it in the United States.
So it's quite a nice jacket. Not that I wouldn't wear it, but it's nice enough.
I can't say personally we've ever kind of been interested in Ed Hardy, but since he's been picking bits up, they seem to sell really fast.
Yeah, that cost me £4. I was following one that was on bids. I think it sold for 26, but then I couldn't find any others, so I'll just shoot higher on that. I'll probably put it up for about £40 and just see where it goes.
Do you know who John Gosling is?
No.
So they had a TV show called John and Kate Plus 8. They had 8 babies at this, right? 8 babies?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they maybe
it's 6 and they had 2 kids. So they had this whole TV show. So he wore Ed Hardy every show, and he's just the biggest loser, and that just ruined the market. He single-handedly ruined the market.
It does ring a bell, that show. I probably have watched it along the lines.
They're both now has-beens. He's a wedding DJ now. Their 50 minutes was over.
Right. Okay.
I'll show you one more thing. I've got some more stuff, but I picked up these 6 graphic novels for £10 for the 6, and these 4 are worth only about £6 or £7 each, so not a lot. But these 2, that one is worth about £16 or £17.
Cool.
And that one I can't find anywhere at all. This one doesn't. It's the Flash, something or other. But this hardback, there's literally no trace. I've done Google searches, every search you can think of. I can't find that exact one. So I've got no clue on that at all, really, what I'm going to do with it. I'll just have to put a number on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So funny enough, to go along with it, I picked this up. Now, the Dead Rabbit is a bar in New York City that makes some of the most amazing cocktails. It is not tiki, just a high-end cocktail bar, and it's called the Dead Rabbit Grocery and Grog. So this was sitting in the Savers thrift store in Henderson, down by our mall. So shouldn't have been there. I'm like, hey, can I see that? Because a lot of the high-end cocktail places put out cocktail books. So the book is all the drinks they made. Well, they took it one step further. And not only is it the recipes, but it's also a graphic novel. So one side the recipes, and then there's a whole graphic novel going along as the recipes go.
That is neat. That's really neat. So
Yeah.
how much is that worth? Any idea?
I don't even know if it's worth it. I mean, because I want it to read it. But I was like, I just can't believe that's here sitting amongst and it was.
What
it was.
you pay for it? Like $7?
I paid $5 for it.
$5.
But I'll tell you what it's worth. I mean, it's probably a current book that they're selling, so it's not going to be like it's worth crazy money. But just to find it, and I didn't know it existed. And then to see a cocktail book with a graphic novel inside of it, yeah, worth about $19.
That's still good, though, isn't it?
Are you going to puke on the show?
He's not going to puke. He's just.
That might get a few more viewings.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll change the title, Dog Pukes Live on YouTube.
Shaft.
Shut your mouth on 8-track.
Ah, that's cool.
The thrift stores here, I think they were throwing the 8-tracks away because I never saw them. And cassettes, I saw very few. And then the cassettes started building up. And then now every store in this town has 8-tracks. So I'm sad that they were probably for years just trashing them all, thinking no one cared. And I always wonder how much good stuff did they throw away.
I'm pretty convinced my sister's still got an 8-track machine. I'm pretty sure she has up in the attic.
I picked up this Paul Abdul on cassette, which Paul Abdul on cassette's usually not worth much, but this one's still sealed.
Right.
So this has been sitting somewhere since 1990 sealed.
I'm pretty sure I had that.
And so open, it wouldn't be really worth my time, but this will be worth at least $10, if not more, sealed, because you're not going to find this sealed anywhere for sure.
Did I watch one of your videos recently where you were talking about Bibles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The show on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
Our guest on Thursday sells a lot of Bibles. So we went out thrifting this weekend and she found 4 or 5 Bibles that are worth some good money that we had not looked at before.
Because I found one yesterday, which I bought on the back of your video. I can't even see that. Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a christening or wedding gift Bible. Now, I am not in the slightest bit religious, so I would never have picked up this. But yeah, it's just a little sort of Bible with like silver on the edge. But it costs £2, and when I looked it up, it's worth about £15. So there is money in it.
Yeah.
So to go along with your Bible, I have a Metallica comic book. It was $1 and worth about $12, $13.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. A disclaimer before you show this.
So I love creepy clown stuff quite a bit, and this whole office is full of it. And I also love paint by numbers. If you don't know,
so hide your eyes if you don't like clowns.
If you don't know what paint by numbers are, it was a big thing in the 60s and 70s where you'd get this unpainted piece of art, and it would say like all the number ones are blue, so paint the blue in.
Don't look yet. It's still up on the
screen. That is some awesome creepy clown paint by number.
That's pretty good. I wouldn't say it was that creepy, to be fair.
Well, ask your
clown. She don't like them at all.
Do clowns.
It's like I love one of my favorite films is
you can put it down now.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Love that film.
Yeah, I was an evil clown on the Queen Mary in Long Beach for a Halloween season where I scared the hell out of people every night. Best job I ever had, because when I got the job, I had no clue people were afraid of clowns. I really had no clue. And the first night when someone started crying when I scared them, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And so creepy clowns have been part of my life now because of that.
It's not even creepy clowns. It's just clowns full stop. They're just
clowns are creepy.
The creepier, the better. All right, can we quiz you on a couple things?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so we picked up some it was 99-cent t-shirt day on Saturday, so we ended up picking about 200 t-shirts because we had all 6 savers. So we'll check your pop culture knowledge on a few of these.
Oh God. Hasadiga Ebola.
Let's see if anyone in the chat knows too.
I don't know what that is.
Hasadiga Ebola.
No. Anyone want to Google it? You know what it is?
So it is a song from the musical The Book of Mormon.
No.
Yeah, never seen it.
Never seen it. Heard of it. Haven't you've seen that recently?
Yeah, we just saw a couple of weeks ago.
All right. If you get a chance to see it.
This should be easier.
Oh, Karate Kid.
Oh yeah.
So it's not legit Karate Kid stuff because it would say Cobra Kai Dojo. So someone was playing off of that, but I'll still be able to sell it.
Yeah. Turtles.
Yeah.
That's a loot crate, that, isn't it?
Yep.
That's why we pulled them, because we were like, He'll know. And someone dropped off a whole ton of the pop shirts, and they're all $1. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna grab all these for $1.
Yeah, that's worth it.
And then last is
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, yep. And that is from Disney Parks. So a little bonus tip.
Yeah.
When you find Disney stuff, the stuff from the parks is worth the most usually.
Yeah, definitely. We always try and find the Disney outlets when we're out and about and pick up the sale stuff in the Disney outlets. Yeah. I'm still selling stuff now from last year. I mean, I'm selling like £20 t-shirts that cost me like $1 or $2. I'll show you my last things. Right, we were talking about kids' clothes before. This is.
I told you, I got an outfit for you.
It's a proper chavvy little tracksuit. Have you ever heard the phrase chav? You ever heard the phrase chav? No.
Scally. Do you know what scally is? No. What do you call delinquent children that hang around on your streets?
A punk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of punk.
Kind of like a punk. Yeah.
Blingy punks. So anyway, that's that. That was £2.50. So it's worth it's not worth loads. It's worth about £12 or £13 or something. And then a pair of little Nike.
Go with it.
Little.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So they were £2.50, and they're worth. I couldn't find the exact same ones, but probably £20 to £25. So that's all I got.
All right, so we got one last thing each. Yeah, you want to go first or last?
Okay, I don't care.
Go ahead.
All right. So
she's gonna school me.
Yeah. So we were on Saturday. It was I don't know if it was National Thrift Store Day, but apparently it was a day. So they had 99-cent t-shirts, and they were putting the Halloween stuff out. So he's like, okay, we're going to all 6. So I already glazed over, but anyway, so that's when I decided I'll start looking some Bibles, switch it up a little bit. T-shirts were getting boring. So we were over in the section with the books and stuff, and he left to go look for the t-shirts, and I stayed behind, was looking for some other stuff. And I was walking by the racks, which I knew he would have had to walk by too to get to where he was going. And I saw this dress, and it just caught my eye. It just seemed not normal. It seemed a little unique. So I looked it up, and sure enough, it's I still haven't heard of the brand. You got it?
Yeah.
Well, your fingers are blocking.
I know, but the thing is so bent over the years.
So it's J.
It's J. Morley for Fern Violet.
Fern Violet. So I just Googled, just looked in eBay real quick, and this dress, I think something similar sold for over $100. Wow. And we bought it for, I think it was half off because it was a summer dress. Yep, so $3 and it'd probably be close to $100.
Guess who looked at it, pulled it out, and then put it back? Me.
Yeah. Not only did he not see it, he saw it. So that's even worse. That he saw it and put it back.
When she walked up, I'm like, oh, I looked at that.
And the other thing, if you can see this, our Goodwills usually use this to when they put things out, so you know what price the different colors are. So this was already at a Goodwill,
and then moved to Savers,
and then went to Savers.
And now someone's going to get it off of eBay.
Yeah.
Good job in school, me.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good find.
Right. And since we talked about it, since you were nice enough to throw the tiki bar in the background, I'll show you what kind of money is to be made in tiki. This is a menu from one of the all-time awesome tiki places called the Ren Clark's Polynesian Village. And what collectors look for in the menus is the ones that have the mugs in them. So these were all the drinks back then that you would get in the mug, and then you'd keep the mug. And as you can see, you would get the Widowmaker for $1 with the mug. It's just, shocking. So this was $15, and it sells for $300 to $400.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
But all these mugs that you see here, so like this one right here, the Virgin's Lament, I just lost out on one on eBay, and I bid $400 and I lost. So all the mugs from this place go for big money. So not only do Tiki nerds collect this for their collection, it's kind of a roadmap of what you need to go buy.
Mm.
And then here's a little tip. We have never seen this cauldron anywhere.
Cannonball bowl.
So skull on top, 3 posts, and the cauldron. We have, like, no Tiki person has ever seen it. It's got to be somewhere.
So that is going to be worth a lot of money if someone can find that.
Yeah. So of course it's staying in our collection, not selling it. But ephemera in the Tiki world can also be worth a ton of money.
Yeah, that is awesome. That. Cookie, get down off
the
there.
dog spotted something out the back. Cookie, come here.
The bird or
She's trying to climb over all the stock.
Okay, so, well, we'll go for another 10 minutes. I've got a couple more questions to get through on my list.
You'll have to go on there because my iPad's died.
Okay, it's fine. So we'll fire a question at you. We've answered that one already, actually. Staci, this one really is for you. So how do you kind of fit into the thrifting world? How do you support sort of Jason, and how do you get involved and go all around America doing these lessons, and how much do you do?
So I've started to do more just as I've been more it's kind of like a disease, like a contagious disease that you just can't get rid of. There's no vaccine for it, but yeah, still with my regular job, yeah, I don't travel as much. And this year he didn't travel as much, but when he goes to the fun places, I'll go, even if it's just, if for vacation days or just for the weekend, depending on where it is. But I think I still more play a support role. And then also I try about let's say 4 times a year, I get to the point where, like, if you bring one more thing in the house, I just can't. I understand that the shopping is the funnest part, but you have to do the listing and the selling. And so about 4 times a year, I get a little overwhelmed, but he loves what he does. He's very good at it. So how can you not be supportive of somebody that is doing what they love and is enjoying it and making a good income? So I'm getting more involved. I even taught a little part of his class here in Vegas after eBay opened. It was more of it was like to the spouses, like, this is how you can get your spouses involved a little bit more, like baby steps. So it's fun. And it's even when we go on vacations, his justification for thrifting on vacation is that, well, we're paying for the vacation, even though it makes sense. It makes sense, even though sometimes I'm like, I don't care. I just don't want to go thrifting today. But he supports me in what I do, and so it's just different because it's a little bit of a different career than normal, but I'm fine with it and supportive, and I like being involved.
Thank you, dear. Yeah, we're going to Maui for our anniversary in a couple of weeks, and the last time we were in Maui, it rained so much. I know it's awful, first world problems to complain about a vacation in Maui, but it rained so much it ruined the entire island. It was so bad. She said, "Let's go thrifting." We're in Maui. That's how bad the rain was.
Because you couldn't do anything outside.
You couldn't do anything. Mudslides kept closing roads. We walked from our resort to the next resort, and we shin deep water the whole way. And so she's like, "Screw this, let's go thrifting," because it's inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a special day. You said, let's go thrifting in Maui.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I do have the odd moments where I'm just like, no, I just want to be doing what we're doing without having to go looking for something.
Yeah.
And like you said, in terms of the getting overwhelmed, I have one ruling, and sometimes it does kind of slip, which is I don't want it in the living room. It's the only room in the house that I want for our space. But
I understand.
He sometimes does bring it down after he's listed it and stacks it on the sofa, and then because he's trying to find space of where to put it, it stays there a couple of days. And yeah.
Mm.
When we moved to Long Beach, we were living in a 2-bedroom condo, and it wasn't a real big condo. It was nice, but it wasn't like huge. And I bought a guy that sold 6,000 records out of his garage. He bought a house, and the guy he bought it from said, "Hey, my buddy's records are in the garage. He's going to come by next week and pick them up." 5 years later, they're still sitting there. So the guy sold the records, and we lost our dining room for a year. Because you know, when you have a condo, you don't have any place else to put stuff. So I made money at the end of it. I made a lot of money, but the time involved and the loss of the room, looking back, it wasn't worth the effort and the time. I did squeeze every dollar out of it because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, losing a whole room of a small condo sucked. Yeah, that was not smart.
Have you got any questions left on your list?
Yeah, so Annabelle, do you think Chris was more nuts when he started reselling and taking away more from his job and reselling, or when he started a YouTube channel?
Probably the YouTube channel, because I've kind of always got the thrifting side. I've always got the buying and selling because there's a, you know, I get the purpose of making the money that way, whereas YouTube, I'm not so, because I, up until doing this with Chris, I would never, ever, ever have been seen on video. I just, public speaking is a no-no. I hate it. I've always despised it. And Chris had been asking for such a long time for me to come on one of the videos. And I was, nope, not doing it. I don't see the point. You do it. It's stupid. And to be fair, that's something else that, since I started doing it, I've actually found I really enjoy it.
Well, you're good at it, so that's good that you.
She loves it now.
Something else to be good at.
But do you know what I said today? Is he was actually like, "Oh, I'm dead nervous. I'm dead nervous," and I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't agree to these things, then, should you? If you're going to get all nervous." And I wasn't bothered because I've actually realised that the fact I can't see anybody, there's nobody there that I can physically see. I'm not bothered. It's like I'm talking to myself. So yeah. So no, I definitely thought he was more crazy for doing the YouTube. I still don't understand the purpose of it, apart from obviously we have got a really good network of people that follow us and that we're kind of getting involved with now. And it sounds really cliche and cheesy, but you do have a reselling family sort of thing that you kind of interact with, and that is quite nice, because you mentioned it early on. There's no competition. This is like no other sort of sales business. There is no competition here. Nobody is worried about giving away trade secrets, because like you said, everybody buys and sells something different. And even if you're selling the same thing, there's that much of it and that many people to buy it. It's just not a competition. So you're quite happy to like.
Yeah, it is unique in that respect.
To pass the bits of wisdom on.
If I hadn't been doing YouTube, I wouldn't have met these guys, would we?
No.
See?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, when Thrift Hunters had been out for like 2 or 3 episodes, I was standing in the biggest Savers in Vegas, which is also the biggest one in the country. And I was talking to somebody, and a woman smaller than Staci walked up to me and said, "I hate you. I hate your show. You've ruined it for all of us." And she stormed off, and I was just like dumbfounded. So I thought about it for a second, and I walk over and I find her. I go, "Look at all the stuff in the store. There are hundreds of thousands of things in this one store." And as we're talking, the train of people coming out of the back with fresh racks and stuff. I go, "Look, it never stops. I can't even conquer this one store in one little part of the world. Are you kidding me?" And if my dumb little show ruined your job, you stunk at it. You got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to know that when the Jonas Brothers break up, back when they did, no one cared anymore. So if you were still holding Jonas Brothers t-shirts like I was, no one was buying them. So you got to be able to pivot at all times. So if this has run its course, like, look, 8-tracks are back, so I'm buying 8-tracks. Chef, shut your mouth.
Right, I'll ask you one more question, and then we'll call it a day. Right, okay. So thrifting runs in your family, right?
Yep.
So what would the pair of you be doing if you weren't thrifting?
Oh wow. Well, I worked in a lot of music stores in my life. So I worked when we lived in Cleveland, I worked for a chain of 11 stores that went from Detroit through Cleveland and down to Pittsburgh. And I worked in all 3 cities. And when we got out west, I worked at one of the largest independent record stores in the country. And then I moved to Tower when they were still in business. So I was the night manager at Tower. So I am sure I would still be slinging music somewhere.
Yeah. And funny thing, real quick, both of our grandparents ran farms and turned out to be either restaurant owners or caterers. So that's kind of in our blood too. And we've talked about it at some point in our future, owning a bar / restaurant kind of thing.
A tiki bar, of course.
Of course. Yeah. So, but I love what I do. So I don't think I'd be doing anything.
No. Do you think you'd ever give up your job, Staci, and just do the thrifting stuff?
I don't think so.
No.
At least at this point, it's more of a hobby.
Yeah.
That I enjoy, to supplement any income, that already comes in. But I don't know if I could do it full time.
Yeah. Retro Reselling 82 says the community has definitely helped him and made his side hustle grow. Always picking up new tips. Yeah, I think that's the same for everybody, isn't it? Even like the most experienced people, and we're certainly not that, but I think even you guys would say that you pick up so much stuff from your own community. Oh yeah, I mean the guests on my weekly show, like we hadn't really looked at Bibles, although I knew there was good money in the right ones. Hearing it and talking to her for half an hour was like, oh. And so then Staci went out and found some good ones, and I even looked up a couple, and the ones I grabbed were not exciting, and the ones she grabbed were. But now that's just a new avenue to add. I'm gonna list the Bible this week and a Ouija board and watch the worlds just collide. That's brilliant. Yeah,
I like the fact, Staci, that you're a bit like me, that we're kind of late comers to the reselling things with our partners, but we definitely do it better.
Mm-hmm. There you go. High five.
I really can't argue that, since I pulled the dress out and put it back. I put $100 bill right back on the rack. Sorry. So my last question is, who gets more love, Chris or Cookie?
Who gets more
Cookie?
Love?
Yeah, definitely. Cookie is like connected to Annabelle, because she's like
my spirit dog.
Yeah, wherever she is, she goes. She sits on her. She won't sit on me unless she's not here. And
you've got food.
Or yeah. But literally, she is stuck to her like glue. She's like her master. So yeah, she definitely gets more than me.
Chris does get a stroke and a pat from time to time. If he's a good boy.
Don't mess up my hair, honey.
Not much left.
I would take it though.
But no, Cookie's our baby.
Clean shaven today.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I went and had my hair cut today as well.
Especially. See, This is how nervous he was. He's even trimmed. He's even trimmed for you.
I've had a shave.
I'm going to say you're actually quite clean shaven.
Special. Thank you.
I put product in my beard today. I usually don't do it on days I'm not going anywhere, so I want to look good for your show. and so this is the best I could do. So are we going to travel together in a couple months?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we're booked. So we're coming to Atlanta for 5 days, and then New Orleans for 5 days in January. So if you guys can come meet us, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'd love to meet you in Atlanta, because she's only been through the airport, I think.
Yeah,
and
driving through.
I filmed there, and I got some great thrift and vintage stores I want to take you guys to that'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
And new tiki bars we have not been to yet. So.
And we'll keep it on the hush hushes for my 40th.
So yeah, so let's we'll do some videos and
yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
We haven't booked any accommodation or anything yet. We've just got the flights because they were on a special offer, so we bought them, and then we'll let you know where we're going to be and everything.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like we'll see a little bit more of the four of us together and actually in person together.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
And it won't be as scary this time, because I have to say I was really, really nervous last time. The fact that we were going to somewhere we'd never been before, and then driving to just some random part of Vegas to meet two people that we'd only ever met on the internet.
And they were never seen from again.
Well, we say that we do dodgy things when we go on holiday. That was probably one of them till we met you. Yeah, we just walked, especially when we pulled out up outside Frankie's Tiki Bar. You can't say it's the most
No.
Not in the best neighborhood.
No.
Frankie's is next to a hospital, and on 3 separate occasions, we have sat next to people at the bar in the hospital gown with the bracelet on. And just left the hospital, went to get a drink.
So you didn't tell us that when you asked us to meet you there, didn't you?
Yeah, I
don't want to scare you away.
But no, it was great to meet you, and I can't wait to meet you again.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll wrap it up then. Thank you both so much for coming on our channel, on our show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for having us on.
It's been good fun.
Is there anything you want to add to the audience before we sign off?
Yeah, if you're a reseller and you haven't joined my group, come on over. It's called the Thrifting Board. Just look for me in a Hawaiian shirt on the top. And I do a show on Thursdays called Thrifty Business. Oops, sorry, buddy, I didn't mean to kick you. And I do a show with my 76-year-old mother, who's also a reseller on Sundays. Past your expiration date, being thrifty over 50. Mom and dad are 76, and they sell, and they do a really good job at it.
And if you're ever in Las Vegas,
we'll meet you at the Tiki Bar.
Brilliant.
I'm like, no, it's fine. Yeah, meet me at the Tiki Bar. It's all good.
It was tell about it.
Just watch the drinks. They are lethal.
Yeah, don't have the ones that are the most potent, is it?
With the 5 skulls?
5 skulls.
Yeah, don't have a 5 skull one.
Don't do what I did and have one of them be on the floor. Right, so thanks to everyone who joined us today in the chat. If you want to like the video, that's great. Make a comment. Tell us what you think. And don't forget to subscribe as well. And also have a visit onto Jason's channel. It's all linked in the description. Thrifting Board's there. There's also the Thrift Hunters website as well is there. So you can go and have a look at some of the old shows. I think it's on that website, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is it. So we're going to sign out. And we'll sign out with our little... Oh, we've got the French hats on again. So see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.